Hi, Wonder Wives. Welcome back for day 25 of the Wonder Wife Workshop. Thanks for joining me. I'm Nikki Friedman. So, today I'm going to kind of change my tune a little bit and get vulnerable with you guys and share something that happened to me yesterday in my own relationship with my husband. I know we've been speaking about relationships with the in laws, and I definitely do want to continue with that conversation, and I have a lot to share on that subject. So, stay tuned for tomorrow and probably the next day as well. But I want to take a break from that today just because this is fresh on my mind. It's something that just happened to me yesterday. And I felt that I should share it with you guys because I learned a lot about myself from the experience. And hopefully, you guys can take something from it as well. So, yesterday I had been preparing what I wanted to speak with you guys about for the Wonder Wife Workshop. And many of you may have noticed that I did not post a video yesterday, which is very out of character for me. So I had it all planned out. I was going to continue my talk on in-laws. I had practiced it. I wrote it out. I knew what I wanted to say. And the day was just busy, busy, busy getting ready for Shabbos in my house. I was cooking. I was taking care of the kids. I was doing things for my teaching job, just constant nonstop. And I looked at the clock and saw Shabbos was starting in an hour and a half, and I still hadn't done the video yet. And I had it set in my mind that I was going to do this video before Shabbos started. So things are flying in my house, and in the middle of all the chaos, I turned to my husband and I said, I haven't done my video yet. I really need to get it done. I'm going to go outside for a little bit, have a little alone time, and do my recording. And he looked at me like, are you nuts? Everything. Shabbos is starting in an hour and a half. The kids haven't been bathed yet. We haven't yeah, I have little kids, so they need to eat something. It was getting late for them, and I was like, this is really important to me. And he was looking at me and he basically said I'm sorry, but I really don't think that you should do this right now. And I looked at him and I was like, okay, he's probably right. This really isn't the right timing. But I was in this state of rigidity. I have a mindset. This is what I had planned. Don't tell me things aren't going to go according to my plan. And like I've mentioned, I'm very type A. So some of you type A'ers out there may relate to this. Some of you may just think I'm nuts, but that's okay too. And I said to him, I'm like, fine. You know what? I'm not going to do the video, but I'm going to be upset about it. And that was my reaction. And I kind of huffed off. And then I basically sat in that for the rest of the evening, through candle lighting, through Shabbat dinner. I wasn't ignoring him or anything. I mean, we were talking, but I was clearly giving him the cold shoulder and was upset about it. And basically what my mindset was, first of all, I had a plan. How dare he ruin it? Second of all, doesn't he see how important this is to me? Why isn't he prioritizing what I'm prioritizing? And obviously in retrospect, I was being ridiculous, right? And with so many of these things, it's you're being ridiculous. Your ego is getting in the way. But there were so many things that were happening here. So after the Shabbos Suda, we sat down to play a board game with our oldest. And I started to just let it go. And my mindset through that was, how long am I going to choose to hold on to this? I am clearly only punishing myself sitting in this state of annoyance, right? What's done is done. It wasn't the right timing. It's better if I want to have a productive conversation with my husband about it, then fine. But to just sit in this state of giving the cold shoulder and basically stonewalling was what I was doing. How long do I want to sit in that? That choice is really up to me. And I chose to come out of it. Okay, so that's the first takeaway. When we get to that place, we have to ask ourselves, okay, who is suffering here? I was the only one who was suffering. I was punishing myself. My husband was happy. My kids were happy. Everyone else was fine. I was the one who was not happy, right? So, what's the point of that? So that's the first thing. So thank God I was able to come out of it. The other big realization that I had there was that I was being really rigid. And recently, there's been somebody in my life, not my husband, somebody else, who I've had a very difficult time with because this person is very rigid and sees things a certain way that they get their mind set on something. If it doesn't go the way that they want, then it's they can't handle it. And I've been perpetually annoyed with this person, to be honest. And I've been feeling like, gosh, like, why can't they just see the big picture here? Okay. Now I was put in that position. And oftentimes, when we have difficult people that come to us in our lives or difficult situations, sometimes it comes through our husband or sometimes it comes from other people. It's really an opportunity for us to look inward. Instead of judging that person, we can come to a place where we can empathize with them. And how do we get there? We literally put ourselves in their shoes, which is what I had an opportunity to do yesterday. So, like, the ultimate goal here is to be able to take these moments that are challenging for us and to be able to have gratitude for those moments because they're opportunities to grow and to reflect inward and to say, how can I do better? And in that moment yesterday, I was able to realize, you know what? This has nothing to do with my husband. Like, Hashem runs the world. Sometimes he sends me these messages and it comes through my husband or it comes through somewhere else. So that's an opportunity for me to see I was being really rigid. I was being really focused on it has to go a certain way. And when things don't go that way, I was having a hard time dealing with it. It's very possible that this other person who I've been having a hard time with recently feels that way. And now I have a sense of how they feel when things don't go their way. And I can empathize with them and I can listen more lovingly and I can be there as a better, support for them. So those are my tips and my feedback just from my own experience that I wanted to openly share with you guys because I feel like this happens to so many of us on a regular basis. So hopefully we can all turn inward and be able to grow from my own experience. And tomorrow we will continue our discussion about in-laws. Thanks so much for listening.